I remember that night. It was dark, and the only light came from the moon outside our small window. Me, Sofia, was lying in bed with Nico, his skin warm against mine. We kissed, slow and sweet, like we had all the time in the world. His hands were gentle, moving over my back, making me feel safe and loved. It was our secret, something just for us, away from everyone else. His breath was warm on my neck as he whispered my name. I felt his heart beating against mine, fast like mine. We moved closer, our bodies fitting together like puzzle pieces. I could feel his love, his need for me, and it made me feel alive. We kissed again, deeper, our breaths mixing in the quiet room. Nico's touch was like magic, making everything else disappear. I felt his hands on my waist, pulling me even closer. We were both breathing hard, our bodies following a rhythm only we knew. It was like we were speaking a language of love, one that didn't need words. The world outside didn't matter. It was just us, in our own little world. I looked into his eyes, seeing the same longing I felt. It was like looking into a mirror, seeing my own desire reflected back. We moved together, slow and then faster, our bodies telling a story of passion and connection. Nico's fingers traced the line of my face, his touch gentle and loving. We kissed again, each kiss deeper, more meaningful, as if we were sealing our bond with every touch. Our movements became more urgent, a dance of love and longing. I wrapped my arms around him, feeling every inch of him against me. His kisses trailed down my neck, his breath hot against my skin. We were lost in the moment, the world outside our little bubble forgotten. Time seemed to stand still as we found solace in each other, our love a quiet storm amidst the calm of the night. And then, in that moment, it was like we became one. Our love was silent but loud, filling the room with its warmth. We held each other close, our breath slowing down together, until we fell asleep, wrapped in each other's arms. The next morning, I woke up with Nico still beside me. His arm draped over my waist. But life wasn't just about us. It was also about the journey we were on. Nico and his friend Leo had invited me on a trip to a place called Heaven's Beach. They were young, full of life, and their energy was contagious. I decided to go, not knowing then how this trip would change everything. We drove through the countryside, the sun bright above us. Nico and Leo were like brothers, always laughing, sharing stories, and sometimes arguing about silly things. I watched them, thinking about how young they were, how much life they had ahead. But I also carried a heavy heart, knowing my own time was different. As night fell, we set up camp by a river. The boys went to swim, their laughter echoing in the quiet night. I sat by the fire, watching them, feeling a mix of joy and sadness. When they came back, we ate, talked, and then, as the fire died down, they fell asleep. But I couldn't sleep, my thoughts too loud. Nico noticed I was still awake and came to sit beside me. We talked about everything and nothing, the stars our only witnesses. It was then, in the quiet of the night, that I felt a pull towards him again. His kindness, his genuine care, it was like a balm to my soul. We moved closer, The heat from the fire, nothing compared to the heat between us. Our second lovemaking was different. It wasn't just passion, it was comfort, understanding. His kisses were gentle, almost worshipful. I felt his love, his respect for me in every touch. We lay down on the blanket, the stars above us, our bodies speaking of love and sorrow mixed. His hands were soft, tracing the lines of my face, my body as if memorizing me. I held him close, feeling his heartbeat against mine again, like a rhythm of life. We moved slowly, savoring each moment, each touch, knowing deep down this was something special, something rare. There was no rush, just us learning each other in the most profound way. We whispered promises, not of forever, but of now, of this moment. Our breaths mingled, our bodies in perfect sync, telling a story of two souls connecting in the quiet night. Nico's hands were warm and gentle, tracing lines down my arms, up my back, each touch a word in our silent conversation. His lips found mine again, soft and questioning, seeking permission for more intimacy in this sacred moment. I pulled him closer, needing to feel the reality of his presence against mine, his skin a comfort against the night's chill. We lay together in the blanket, the stars our only light, their twinkling a silent blessing to our union. His kisses moved from my lips to my neck, each one slower, more deliberate, as if he wanted to memorize every inch of me. The world outside our little space by the river seemed to fade away. It was just us, sharing our hearts in the most physical way we knew how. Nico's touch was like a whisper, each movement filled with care and respect. I felt his heart beating against mine, a rhythm that spoke of love, of understanding, of shared pain and joy. We moved together, slow and tender, our bodies speaking a language only we understood. In the quiet, with only the sound of the river and our breaths, we found a peace that was rare and precious. As we lay there, wrapped in each other, the night seemed to hold us in its embrace. There was no need for words. Our bodies had said everything. We held each other close, feeling the weight of this connection, knowing it was something special, something fleeting but profound. The night was peaceful. The river sounded a lullaby that eventually took us to sleep, wrapped in each other's arms. The journey to Heaven's Beach continued, but my heart was torn. I knew I was living on borrowed time, each day with Nico, with Leo, a gift. They were so full of life, and I wanted to soak up as much of that as I could. But the truth was, I was running from my own reality, seeking a moment of peace before the storm. We reached Heaven's Beach, and it was beautiful, just like its name. The water was clear, the sand soft. We swam, laughed, and for a moment forgot about all the worries. But even in paradise, the shadows of my life followed. I watched Nico and Leo, the friendship, their youth, and I felt a pang of sadness for what I would leave behind. That night, as we sat around another campfire, I knew I had to tell them. I told them about my sickness, about how I didn't have much time left. Their faces fell, the joy of the day washed away by my words. Nico held my hand, and I saw his eyes filled with tears. Leo was silent, his usual chair gone. We talked until dawn, about life, about love, about how to live what time we had left. It was then I realized this trip, this time with them, was my heaven's bitch. Not just the place, but the moment of love, laughter, and truth. They promised to be with me, to make every moment count, and I felt a peace I hadn't known in a long time. As the sun rose, I looked at Nico, at Leo, knowing our journey together was nearing its end, but also knowing that what we shared would never truly end. It was more than just a road trip. It was a journey of the heart, one that would stay with us all